without any further ado, let's get started. And I would like to invite Jan up to the stage from our sponsors, Arcane Network. And Jan's going to be talking about how blockchain and NFTs are creating a new business model for the gaming industry. So hi, Jan, how are you?
Hi, Sophia. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. The weather's not bad where I am. How about you? How are things where you are?
The weather is good. I'm based in Belgium, and it's not usual for Belgium, but I'm happy the weather is good now.
Yeah, I'm in Wales at the moment, and I must admit it's not usual here in Wales, so it's quite nice to have a little bit of sun coming in. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sponsoring this track. I think everyone in the audience is very excited for your talk. So I'm going to let you get set up, share your screen, anything like that, and then once we're all ready, I will drift off into the background.
So good afternoon or good morning, good evening, like Sophia said, to everyone watching. I'm super happy to be here and to share our vision about gaming and blockchain gaming in the future. So I'm going to talk about blockchain and NFTs and the new business models for the gaming industry. Before that, just a little bit of introduction about myself. So my name is Jan. I'm the CMO at Arcane Network. My background is a little bit more in blockchain and in gaming. So I've been working in blockchain since 2017 at Delta.app. Delta.app is a cryptocurrency portfolio tracking application founded in 2017. We had more than 1.5 million users, sold the company to eToro. And then since 2020, I'm active at Arcane Network, where we have now 200K users on average and just raised 2 million from investors. So that's my background in blockchain. My background in gaming is a little bit, I would say, less sexy. I used to play games like FIFA 98. My favorite game all time was on PlayStation 2 was Time Splitters. And then I also have a little bit of experience with Counter-Strike, which for the people that know Counter-Strike recognize probably the map, the Dust. So with blockchain and the gaming industry at Arcane, we're like combining best of both worlds. So we're combining the fastest growing financial assets market together with the fastest growing entertainment industry, which is gaming. So by combining those, we created a company that focuses on gaming companies with blockchain or helping them getting on the blockchain. So Arcane, quickly, what we do, we have several products, which are wallet and custody services, like wallets, cryptocurrency wallets, or NFT wallets that we manage for our gamers. NFT management and NFT tools, like the minting of those NFTs, but I will give a little bit more of explanation later on. And then we have also an NFT marketplace for games to sell and trade gaming assets in the form of NFTs. Our wallet is a wallet that can be used both on desktop and mobile. Easy thing about the wallet, it's used like in the Sandbox. Sandbox, probably known, is one of the biggest metaverses being built as a blockchain game. And the Sandbox uses the Arcane wallets for their gamers to log in and make an account on the Sandbox so that we automatically link them with an Arcane wallet in the backend. More wallet services. NFT tools. So there we help companies also mint the NFTs and do the custody of the NFTs, and then of course later on sell and send the NFTs. A partnership that we did with Venly is minting and selling the NFTs for the Logan Paul sales, but also for the Tekashi sales or Louis Capaldi lately. And there we help them with several things related to the NFTs. For gaming companies, interesting one is the Unity plugin that we developed together with Heaton Studios or Heaton Engineering. And the Unity plugin helps game builders translate their game assets into NFTs with easy integratable APIs. NFT marketplace, so the Arcane marketplace, you can purchase and trade NFTs, different blockchains. So we're blockchain agnostic. That's an important thing to say. So it means that you can purchase and sell NFTs on the Polygon blockchain, also on the Binance Smart Chain, and on the Avalanche blockchain. And you can log in, of course, with your Arcane wallet and the MetaMask wallet. So we have about 200,000 gamers in the Arcane ecosystem playing different games. That's about it for the introduction. Now I'm going to talk about the future of gaming and how we see that the future of gaming in the coming years will develop. We hope and we believe a lot of the things that we saw in the movie Ready Player One will become reality in the near future, together with the technologies that we have today with virtual reality or augmented reality and blockchain. We will be able to fulfill this vision of Ready Player One. And when we look at the timeline of the ecosystem that changed, we used to, like in the past, to pay to play, like I did when I purchased FIFA 98 to play on my PlayStation, going to free to play, where gamers are free to play and don't have to purchase any license or software to play a game. So with Fortnite is a great example of a free to play mechanism where Fortnite makes huge revenues from gamers that want to level up or purchase in-game items. And then we're going more to play to earn games where gamers can earn cryptocurrencies or earn NFTs while playing the game. That also means that when gamers want to stop playing a particular game on the blockchain, they can sell their game assets to the next player and then get revenue from what they did in that game. What I also believe is now we're going from pay to play to free to play to earn, but we're still gonna see pay to look good. So people are still gonna pay toward games to look good in those games. So they're not just gonna play to earn, but they're also gonna pay their what they got in rewards again and bring it back in the ecosystem to look good in those games or to have specific sets or features or assets in that particular game. A good example of a company that went from pay to play to free to play is Nintendo, where they just exploded their revenue in going to the free to play industry or going to the free to play features. Combinations. So when you see play to earn, you can combine play to earn with pay to play, but you can also combine it with free to play. So it doesn't mean that when you have a play to earn game that you have to be free to play. It can also be pay to play. An example of a free to play one, so free to play and play to earn would be Etermon. Etermon is a blockchain game where you catch Pokemons, which are called Etermons on the Ethereum and Matic blockchain. And those Etermons, you can start playing for free because you get Etermons when making an account on Etermon game. And then with those Etermon, you can complete quests and get rewards. So you are earning while playing. An example from pay to play and play to earn. So where players need to purchase a few things to be able to play the game is a game like Sorare or Axie Infinity. Because in Axie Infinity, you would need a few Axies to start making those quests. And with Sorare, you're gonna be needing to buy a few cards from your soccer players to build a team and to earn from that game later on or afterwards. Sorare is a great example of a blockchain game where you build a team and based on the real life results of those players that you selected in your team, you will get earnings from those players in cryptocurrencies. So there, all the gamers are NFTs that you purchase. That will explain later on what types of NFTs and how you can change your game assets or evolve your game assets into NFTs. Another example of play to earn, to give a little bit more tangible context on what it is to earn from playing. So in Delta or Formula One Delta, we started a racetrack in that game was sold as an NFT, was a huge purchase, was more than 200K USD. And it was purchased by Metakovan. It's also the same buyer from the Beeple auction. I don't know if you guys followed it. The Beeple auction, the huge NFT auction for 69 millions of dollar, if I'm correct. So Metakovan bought a track in that Formula One game and will earn from people using or playing or racing on that track. Also advertisers advertising on that track in that ecosystem or metaverse will be paying Metakovan because he's the owner of that track in the open world of Formula One Delta. Gartner said that only 0.01% of the apps succeed, and a lot of those apps Gartner is talking about are apps or gaming applications. And the biggest issue for them, why they don't succeed, is the monetization issue. So now what we see with blockchain games, a lot of games are now able to find models to better monetize their applications. So that's why I'm very positive, I'm very bullish on blockchain games in the future. A lot of great companies or studios are transferring or are going or tapping into the digital and the blockchain ecosystem. We see Atari, Panini, the Sandbox Game Tops, My Crypto Heroes, F1 Delta, all those companies are building metaverses or are building games onto the blockchain, and that's with NFTs. And that's also why we now see a huge spike in interest in NFTs, mostly art NFTs, but the biggest use case for NFT today is still the gaming industry. So now, how does it work? Because we see that game studios are creating asset economies, and the assets would be those NFTs. Why and how they do that is by making NFTs from their game assets. And NFTs are non-fungible tokens, so they're limited amount of tokens on the blockchain, so fully transparent, can't build or mint more or less. It's with smart contracts, so it's fully transparent and fully, I would say, honest towards the gamer itself. And the NFTs could be like characters that you have in the game, could be a sword, could be shoes for your soccer player, could be a track in a racing game, could be a piece of land in a metaverse where people are building stuff on it. So it could be a lot of different things. And the NFTs themselves are used for several things to be able to monetize from games. One of the most famous way of monetizing with NFTs is raising funds by doing land sales, like the Sandbox or CryptoVoxes or Decentraland. They are selling pieces of land in their metaverse in the form of NFTs. So those NFTs have a value because there's only a limited amount of pieces of land, and every NFT of every piece of land is different because every piece of land has a different positioning on the map or in that metaverse. So all those lands are being sold before or even before the games in that land are being built. So this is a great way to raise funds for those games. Another great example to raise funds are avatars that you can use in those games, characters that you can play with in those games. Then NFTs are also used to reward players in those games with avatars again, or with in-game resources. Those in-game resources could also be cryptocurrencies, with which you create an in-game economy. So you bring as a player value to the ecosystem by building things in that game or in the metaverse, and you earn cryptocurrencies that you can pay new stuff again with in that game. And then the stuff that you pay for in the game or that you purchase are NFTs, and those NFTs you can keep them because you need them. They can bring you value or money, but you can also sell them again when you want to step away from the game. So gamers are able to make money again when stepping away. Visual examples of NFTs. The first one is an Aavegotchi. So it's like a Tamagotchi, but on the blockchain. It's a project on Aave, and it's on the Matic blockchain. And there are now, I don't know how many, but I think around 20,000 Aavegotchis. And the goal is to feed it, to pet it like your Tamagotchi in the past. And you're also going to be able to play mini games with those Aavegotchi. The other one is a piece of land in the Sandbox. A crypto kitty is also an NFT, so this is one of the best known projects. And then you see on the right, you see a Meebit from the creators of CryptoPunks, and a Meebit will be a character that you can use in different games. So this is also something that's pretty cool to see, is that you're gonna have interoperable NFTs that you can use in different games like this Bebit. When we look at the NFT industry, we see a huge part that is used in games. So games is still bigger than art, if I'm correct. And when we look at sales, we see an amount of sales, we see a little bit more in art, but gaming and the metaverse, where you see the blue and the red, is accountable for 50% of the amount of sales of NFTs in the total market in 2020. But when we look at the amount of sales, so the amount of transactions, we see way more in gaming, because gaming has a lot of small transactions or small, I would say cheaper stuff that you can buy to play a game with. So gaming is by far today the best use case for NFTs. And the second one will be collectibles and art, of course. And then when we see the primary and secondary market, because again, talking about NFTs, when you sell an NFT, you get, as a game, you sell on the primary market your NFTs, you get revenue from it. But when those gamers from your game sell those NFTs again in a secondary market, you get royalty fees, which is a percentage of every transaction for items that are built or are minted with your smart contract. So this again is a great way to monetize your games and to keep getting revenue from your NFTs. If you create a great use case and a great secondary use case where people can trade and buy and sell new NFTs, then you will get a lot of revenue from those secondary markets as well. Blockchain, I'm talking about blockchain. It's important for a game to understand on what blockchain project that you're gonna build on. The most popular by far for games is Ethereum. After that, you will see a lot of games being built on Polygon and on the Binance Smart Chain today as well. But this is in terms of popularity, because when you look at the fees are going to be way too expensive on Ethereum. So if you're creating your game on the Ethereum blockchain, you're going to have big issues because every transaction will be way too expensive for your gamers to sign and to transact and trade NFTs with. So this is why a lot of games are migrating to Polygon and to Binance Smart Chain, because their transaction fees are very, very small. Like on Polygon, it's 0.000001 USD for every transaction, so almost free. And we saw that with a lot of games that are like the OGs in blockchain gaming. They're now migrating from Ethereum to the Polygon blockchain, like Aavegotchi. Last one about the marketplaces. So marketplaces are going to be very relevant for secondary or primary markets, but also very relevant for your gamers to interact and buy new game assets in the form of NFTs and also sell them again. This is an example on Arcane, so our marketplace, filtered on Neon District. You see a huge secondary marketplace usage with items that are priced between now $3 and $10, where your gamers can trade and buy new stuff to compete with in that game. But then on the marketplaces, we did some research in the past, and the marketplaces that exist are focused, you have a lot of them focused on art in the bottom left corner. The top left corner are marketplaces mostly for primary use cases in gaming, like Top Shots, which is more collectibles, like Sorare and its marketplace. X Infinity has its own marketplace. Even the Sandbox has its own marketplace as well. And then with Arcane, what we try to do is being an open marketplace where people from different projects can sell and buy their NFTs. So we combine every NFT from every project, and we tend to focus on gaming and do that on our marketplace. So we focus there in the open marketplaces in gaming and collectibles. And then the thing that differs us from the rest is that we are multi-blockchain, meaning that games that are built on the Ethereum blockchain or games that are built on the Matic blockchain or the Binance blockchain, they are all able to sell NFTs via the Arcane market. Native marketplaces like the Sandbox is a marketplace that is inside that game, and it's something that we do as well with our marketplace APIs. But this is like something that games are building and should build as well, like have their own closed marketplace within their game, because there you can really leverage the token that is used as a currency in your game. So for the sandbox, for example, it's sand, and the sand token or is a cryptocurrency, which you can buy, with which you can buy new assets, but also get from rewards for building stuff in the metaverse. A little side note is that there are huge speculations in the NFT market, because a lot of games aren't or are being built, but already selling for tremendous amounts of money of NFTs. So be careful, do a lot of research when you want to trade those NFTs. But it's definitely a great way for games to monetize and to be more sustainable. 3 trends to end up with, that we're going to see, or that we hope to see in the future, but that we also believe to see in the future, is one is character standards and the interoperable utility of those characters in games. So that means that, like I said previously, that you're going to have assets that you can use in different games. And with doing this, your wallet address will become your avatar. So you're going to be logging into a different metaverse, but you're going to be having the same avatar to walk around. Or if you have sneakers in that one metaverse, you can also wear them in the other metaverse. So your assets, you're going to be in full control in different environments, bringing more value to those assets as well. Then the rise of the metaverses like Crypto Voxels, Decentraland, the Sandbox. All those metaverses will have mini games inside of them built by the community. So it's really going to be open metaverses. Really looking forward to start playing in those metaverses. And then it's going to be a little bit more on the longer term, still 2020 is not so far away, is that those games, those blockchain games, are going to be looking to build their games on consoles. So the Sandbox already had it in its roadmap that it hopes to have those blockchain enabled mini games on consoles in 2022. So this is going to be great for me and my spare time as well. But this is a trend that we definitely gonna see in the future. So yeah, trying to keep it short. Thank you for watching. If you want to download the presentation, you can do so. You can go to arcane.network/beyond-games, and you can also ping me on Twitter if you have any questions, or ask them here if I'm correct, Sophia.
Yeah, hi Jan. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've got some time for some questions, but I know we've only got a little bit of time and there's a lot of questions. So I'm going to dive straight in if that's okay.
Great.
So first up is Molly asked, what is the difference between play to earn and a job? I hope my question isn't rude. I do not mean to be, and I'm open-minded to blockchain and NFTs. I'm just not certain I understand this concept as an entertainment form.
Yeah, good question. I believe that a lot of companies will be, no, not companies, but the new generation of people are not going to have the same standards of having a 9-to-5 job. So I believe more that people are going to think differently in the way they're going to behave or have an additional value in the world. And the difference, between a job and a play to earn is just the way that you want to have your life, or that you can also combine it, of course, but the way that you envision your life being. And both, like working, you can have a job in a gambling company, and it's not a real added value, I think, for the world. You can have jobs in the entertainment sector that are maybe also only for yourself, I don't know. But within metaverses and blockchain games, you can build stuff, like you can make art, you can build mini games within the metaverses, and those will have real added value for people and for the world. So I'm a big believer that those are like jobs.
Yeah, I mean, the next question I'm going to ask is one that's quite ranging, but it might allow us to touch upon some of the other questions unexpectedly. But someone's asked, what needs to change in order for NFTs and cryptocurrencies to become the common ground?
I think what needs to change? Nothing at the moment. What needs to come is that all those killer applications needs to come out, and people need to start playing the sandbox and need to start seeing it. Because now everything is being built for several years, and everything is being prepared for big adoption and mainstream rolling out. So I don't think that a lot needs to change. We have the right infrastructure, we have the right blockchains to do so, we have the right teams that are building games. So we're going to see this in the near future.
Yeah. Okay. And next question we got, to see how many I can power through, is what would the established games companies why would the established games companies embrace these blockchain-based player economies above their own in-game economy, of which in many cases their whole business model is based around?
If they have a good business model with their in-game economy, then it's totally fine for those games to stick with that. I just believe that if you can empower gamers to also earn from your game, you're going to see way more adoption, and you're going to also be able to bring them even more value and to make them ambassadors, even more ambassador of your game. But also, like the first question, the difference between a job and a play to earn, with if you have your own economy as a game, and the gamers, when they stop playing it, they just didn't earn anything, or stop with nothing. But when you have the play to earn, your gamers, when they leave the game, they're also going to be rewarded for everything that they sold again in that game. And I believe this is like great for gamers. So it's even better for gamers. And it's maybe bold, but I think that a lot of gamers, when we see the same level of play to earn games compared to the great games that we have now with own economies, if you have that same level, a lot of gamers will prefer to have prefer playing play to earn games to earn from those.
Yeah. Okay. And next up is, what would you say to people who say, I really don't understand why a picture of a tweet is worth so many $100,000 or $1 million? I mean, obviously that's where the conversation is based around NFTs right now. Well, one half of the conversation, I should say.
Yeah.
What would you say to those people?
I have the same idea about that. So I would say I have no idea neither why an NFT from a tweet is worth so much. It's a collectible, so people try to speculate on it. It's maybe why we're in a bubble as well. Like NFT art, it's exploding. I'm more a believer of NFTs with utility. So utility like in games, utility like a domain that could be an NFT as well. And the other ones will be more speculating, as in collectibles or art.
Yeah, and interestingly, I mentioned one half of the conversation around NFTs. Someone has actually just asked about the other half, and it would be remiss of me not to touch on it. So, obviously, you guys are promoting blockchain and NFT, and one of the big conversations is that there's huge global resistance because of the environmental impact. I mean, what would your response be to concerns about the environmental impact of the blockchain technology?
Yeah, great question, because we are very concerned about the ecological impact, and that will be like every blockchain that works with a proof of work model needs a lot of computing power to fulfill those blocks. So this is environmentally not okay. But blockchains like Matic and Polygon and Binance Smart Chain, those are chains that are 99% less impactful on the ecology. So those blockchains have already fixed that. But also like the environmental impact on other chains, because Bitcoin is still a proof of work blockchain, so a very high computing power driven blockchain. But know that a lot of the energy that is built for mining those Bitcoins is energy that would be a waste in the regular world. So let's say that some countries make energy or have energy like solar power energy that they can't use. Well, those energy supplies can be used for mining. So it's the environmental impact is an issue, but it's not something that can be solved in the coming months.
Yeah, and I know we started a couple of minutes late, so I'm going to ask one last question before we have to wrap up, unfortunately. So Chris has asked, cross-game currencies and items across many different games is really hard. Do you think that many companies will realistically be able to do this? What advice would you offer to them?
Yeah, it's going to be other projects that will build those NFTs that can be used in those games. So like with in the presentation, I don't know if I touched upon it, but Voxo Deus is a separate project, and they built avatars to run around in games, but they're not a game themselves. And the sandbox integrated Voxo Deus, and other games and metaverses will integrate those types of projects and say, okay, your items have the right standards to be in our game as well. So it's going to be in the beginning a game of partnerships, and in the end a game of standards, because every standard NFT will be visually shown in all the different games.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Jan, and thank you for sticking with us for so many questions. And as well, I mean, there's a range of other questions as well, but I mean, is there a way that people can reach out to you if they want to continue talking, maybe in the Discord or maybe over some sort of platform that you commonly use?
Sure, you can ping me on Twitter. You can also ping me on Telegram. I don't know if I can share my Telegram handle here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can share it in the chat with pleasure. I mean, yeah.
All right. Okay, and otherwise, if you download the presentation, you're also gonna get my email address. So
well,
you're
there you
also
go.
free to email me as well.
That's perfect then. But yeah,
Cool.
thank you so much, Jan. And obviously, thank you to Arcane Network for sponsoring this track and for opening it up with an insightful talk. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.